Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 7, Episode 18, Reunion Part 1. It started off with them using an audio version of Reasonably Shady podcast where Robin admitted that the reason why she held off on the marriage was because her and Ron was working through cheating allegations because Ron had cheated on her during the pandemic and stuff like that, and so they had the little writing like the little writing across the screen where it says something, I think something like 3 months later, and then they played the audio and stuff like that, and then after that Andy was going around to all of the girls' rooms asking them how they were doing and stuff, and then he put Mia said she was doing all right. She was ready. Wendy said she was ready. And then he went to Karen and he asked Karen, what does she feel about Sharice being there? She said, well, Sharice deserves to be here. And then he went to Candiace last. And then Candiace told him she's okay. She was ready. And then she gave him a T-shirt. She told him it was a belated Christmas present. So he got the T-shirt, took the T-shirt. Then they all sat down. Then he had spoke to the ladies and asked them how they was feeling and told them hi and got on with the introduction and stuff. And then he went to Ashley. He said, Ashley, would you explain to me what happened between you and Luke from Summer House and why it didn't work out? She said, well, I'm sorry it didn't work out. She said it was a situation, it was an incident where Michael had the kids and he was supposed to bring them back Monday, but he brought them back that Sunday, and I was entertaining Luke. Me and Luke had a date, and Michael didn't like that, so Luke had to leave. And stuff like so Luke had to leave. He said, why did Luke, Andy said, why did Luke have to leave? Well, because of the kids is there. And then Michael was upset and stuff too. And he said, Ashley, what did Luke tell you after that? She said, Luke told me that I need to set some boundaries. And they would say, oh yeah, you do need to set some boundaries. You set the boundaries. And then Andy said, well, if I was Michael, I would feel old being around a young man like Luke and stuff. And then he said, well, being around young balls. Somebody said that. Then Candiace said, yeah, I said that. He said, you don't need to be around old stuff. And she said, yeah, I did say that too. And then next thing you know, he said, Ashley, do Michael have keys to the house? She said, yeah, Michael got keys to the apartment. And then Giselle, to the house. And then Giselle chimed in and said, he got keys to the house. He can come in any and every time he wants to. You wouldn't even know. She said, no, it's like this, just for the kids, And then so I think it was Andy said, do Michael have keys? No, it was Giselle. She said, do Michael have, she said, do you have keys to Michael's house? She said, no, I don't have keys to Michael's house. I just have keys to my house. And they all looked kind of funny at Ashley. And then the next thing you know, Andy asked Ashley, he said, Ashley, what's happening with your divorce and the prenup? What's going on? She said, the prenup didn't work out for me. He said, what you mean didn't work out for you? She said, well, I had signed a prenup when me and Michael first got married, and it said if I stayed in the marriage 5 years or longer, I would get something. But when it got down to the courts, they said anything that Michael made or any kind of money that Michael made before we got married, that's his money to keep. And anything and any money that we made together, then we have to split that. So that didn't really work out for me. And he said, what are you getting? She said, I'm not really getting nothing. I'm only getting spousal support and child support. And then Mia said up under the breath, you didn't secure the bag. And then Candiace and Wendy and Karen had a funny look on her face, and Karen was looking so funny. And then somebody said, well, I guess she didn't secure. And then went to the next, the next thing. And then he said, well, Ashley, I'm glad you got your house, you and what you call and stuff. He said, but she said, yeah. She said, Michael is only helping me with the mortgage. She said, because if Michael wouldn't help me with the mortgage, as far as spousal as far as spousal support and other stuff, well then I wouldn't be able, I wouldn't be able to do the house myself. I wouldn't be able to afford the house by myself. And he said, oh, okay. And then next thing you know, he went to Candiace, and he asked Candiace, he went to Candiace and asked Candiace how she doing and what she doing, and she said she doing all right, she doing fine. And then the next thing you know, he was saying Candiace, since you've been on here, you got a singing career and you got this and you got that. And then he read the question. He said, a fan said, Ashley, you said in season 4 or 5 that Candiace seemed like that she was the least accomplished on the show. But seems like you are the least accomplished on the show. And then Candiace said, yeah, that's right. He said, yeah, Candiace, since you've been on here, you have got you a singing career, and you doing this and you doing that. And she said, yeah. Yeah, that's right. And she said, Ashley, I can't help it because she said, Ashley, I can't help it because I have generational wealth and I use my generational wealth. And then Ashley was saying, well, I can't help it, that still bothers me. She said, no, it don't bother me. She said, this whole group maligned me for years about me living in my mom's house and preparing my mom rent, me and Chris, but that was generational wealth because that's how it was from her mother. And so she looked out funny. She said, I just hope, she said if you could attain generational wealth, I just hope that you I just hope that you could attain that for you and your son. My son's gonna have their own stuff in 30 years. And 30 years, look like she's almost about to cry. And then next thing you know, Ashley Ashley looked kind of funny, and then she said, no, it ain't bothering me. That's just all I'm saying. And then after that, Andy switched to the next thing and to the next topic, and then he talked to Mia. He said, Mia, how are you doing? Mia said, I'm doing all right. I'm doing fine. He said, Mia, people have been talking about you and your marriage, but you and Jacqueline been doing stuff together. They show kind of flashbacks, and you and Jacqueline and Gordon got some kind of three-way relationship going on. What's going on? She said, well, what it is, I have to do the same stuff that I did to get Gordon, to keep Gordon. So our marriage is all right. Our marriage is okay. He said okay. He said what about all this stuff about your health and your cancer scare? He said 1 minute they showed black. She said 1 minute you had cancer, 1 minute you didn't have cancer. You think you had cancer, and he was saying yeah. And he was saying, yeah, what was it? She said, well, what it was, I had a bunch of little lumps and large lumps and lip notes and stuff. And she was saying, I didn't know what was going on. We kept on having tests and tests. And so when a doctor, I'm not a doctor, when a doctor tells you, you need to go to another doctor, a specialist or oncologist or something like that, I just went to take all the tests and it was still testing. She said, well, how are you doing now? She said, well, I'm taking medication. She said, I'm taking medication. So so I won't have to do the surgery like Giselle. And she was saying, well, yeah, we had some kind of tumors and stuff growing inside of my uterus and stuff like that, and it caused the rash and stuff like that. So I'm kind of going to something similar to what Giselle going through as far as the tumors and the fibroids, and I'm trying not to do surgery like her. He said, oh, but they said it was a rash. She said, yeah, but the rash was, and she said it was, and then that's when Candiace said you had psychocordona or something like that. And she said, yeah, that's what I had. And then they played. Andy went to Wendy. He said, Wendy, you said on the hot mic that you thought Mia was faking, and you said Mia was faking, so they showed the hot mic movement a moment, and then she said Wendy, Mia said, Wendy, if you thought that, you should have said that like the rest of the women. You had me believing it. She said, well, I didn't, because your story was so confusing. So she said, no, she said, like I told y'all, I'm not a doctor. I didn't know what was going on. So now that I know what is going on and stuff. But she said, Wendy, if you didn't do that, if you thought I was faking, you should have said that to my face. You said it to my face. That's why I'm mad with you. That's why I don't like you. And then so Andy chimed in and said, well, how's your health now? She said, like I said, it's all right now. I'm taking medication. I'm taking medication. He said, well, what is this stuff about your financial stuff, Mia? You said on the internet and online that you and Gordon had to downsize. You had to sell your house and something about your brother taking your money from you. She said, yeah, we did have to sell a house and stuff like that. You know, we own a house in North Carolina. We own a house in this place, We got 3 or 4 properties, but we had to sell one, you know, because we're bi-coastal. And then Giselle chimed in and say, that property you talking about, that's in a certain part of Potomac in Washington. And so she looked kind of funny. And then the next thing you know, she was trying to explain it. She said, well, you know, there's a management team and there's people that are on the board. There's 3 people on the board, and see, they thought because we were looking into other businesses that we was trying to take over, and we was going to vote them out, but they voted Gordon out and they voted me out, and I was on the management team too, so I was getting paid $40,000. You was not on no management team, Mia. You was the face of those franchise chiropractic things that y'all were trying to get into, and they was giving you a $40,000 salary to be the face of it. Come on, Mia. And then after that, you said you said it was 3. Now you talking about it's 8. Which one is it? And they said, yeah, which one is it? And she said, well, and then Giselle chimed in and said, well, you know, voting members do have vote. They do have the right to vote you out. But I thought you was a CEO where you could be voted out. She said, well, I was a CEO, and it was so. And then I got to laughing, and you know. And then all of them got to laughing, and even Wendy had her head down. And so Mia said, I'm not going to continue this conversation, Andy. If they're going to keep laughing at me, I'm trying to explain. And so he said, okay. And so he said, okay, let's move on. And so he moved on, and then he moved on, and then he went back to Wendy. He said, Wendy, what are you gonna say about that? She said, Mia, you talking about me being on a hot mic moment, but you actually assaulted me. You threw water on me. When are you gonna take accountability for that? When are you gonna take accountability for that? She said, that's because you said stuff about my husband, and you said stuff about my husband and Peter. She said, no, I didn't say anything about your husband. You said it was about Peter. You gonna throw a drink in my face over Peter? What's going on with you and Peter? She said, ain't nothing going on with me and Peter. Me and Peter been friends and stuff. And she said, will you admit that you assaulted me? And she said, only reason why I apologize to you because I want the stuff to move on in Mexico. Mia didn't want to apologize, want to accept the responsibility of what she did and stuff like that. Then Wendy got to crying, and then Mia looked kind of funny, and then Andy moved on, and he said, Candiace, what do you think about Giselle saying that she felt uncomfortable? She felt uncomfortable going into her dressing room with a married man and stuff like that. How do you feel about that? And stuff like that. She said, what it is, Giselle is lying. Giselle said, no, I'm not lying. I'm just saying I felt uncomfortable about that. And she said, Giselle, why did you bring it up on a national platform as big as this platform and bring it up. Why come you couldn't talk to me? After the reunion, why you couldn't tell me? Why you couldn't tell me at my at my video party, at my event? She said, well, you was having a good time, and I didn't think that was the right time to bring it up. She said, you could have pulled me to the side if you really wanted to bring it up, and we could have talked about it then, discussed it then. She said, well, she said, well, I wasn't gonna say anything until I talked to Ashley. Then after Ashley told me that she felt uncomfortable with Chris sliding into her DMs and stuff like that, and so that's why I brought it up to you. And then Candiace said, no, you brought it up to me after you talked to Ashley because you felt that was going to be a storyline for you. No, it's not. No, I said, yes, it is going to be a storyline for you and stuff. And she said that would have been, Candiace said that would have been all right if it would have been just that. She said, but Ashley, you edged it on by bringing in your friend, by bringing in your Sesame Street character type friend, talking about Chris was looking at her and feeling on her butt and stuff like that, and grabbing stuff, and then you and Giselle both kept the lie going. Giselle's talking about, no, it wasn't a lie, I did, and then Robin chimed in and said, "Can we all admit that it's wrong for a married man to be in a room by himself with a single woman?" And then Shady Production shows those flashbacks of what she talking about, where everybody needs to share their stuff, and then they showed another little clip of the reason for Shady audio, and it was back and forth, and it was looking. Next thing you know, Giselle say, well, if Chris didn't do anything wrong, why did he apologize to me? And then she gonna try to read off some kind of text or message that she got. And then when she got through, see, that's the proof. Andy said, that don't sound like an apology to me. She said, well, he did about it. I said, no, he said the word if. He said if he made you feel comfortable, he's sorry for that. But he wasn't really apologizing because he used the word if. And then Giselle looked kind of funny. And then Candiace said, that's what I'm talking about. They kept going on with the lie. And then Andy said, Giselle, you do realize that you need to apologize to Candiace, don't you? She said, well, okay, I'm sorry, Candiace. I apologize. And then before Andy could even say, do you accept the apology, she said, Giselle, you could take your apology and put it where the sun don't shine. That's what I'm saying. I'm not exactly saying what you're saying. And then Andy said, ooh, okay, no apology. Let's move on. Next thing you know, he started asking Robin about asking Robin about questions about the cheating with Warren, and then the episode ended. This reunion one was real good. Candiace and Wendy stole the show along with Karen with her looks. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a T.I. is. I am out.